Hi everyone, this is professional high priestess, and I'm here with another episode of This Day in Your Lane. I again just want to let you guys know about the Word4Dead.io. It is a database of different hyperdimensional languages as well as sigil systems that you can use for all your work needs. So people taking money from you. There will be work such as the individual who has taken money from me will see those funds removed, and I will get those funds returned 900 years as refold, right? So we have all kinds of stuff like that. Anti-illusion spells, separation work as well too for people trying to bind themselves and stay in your world. If you have a business, if you're creative, things to get you back on track, clean up your Akashic record, reconnect you with your higher self. There's all of that. Okay. Then on top of that, different books that we put out. I put one out on trisomies, which is basically the category of all the different diseases that exist caused by DNA damage and disruption. So you guys go check that out. There's a lot there. The chemistry book, there's that on my website too. On top of like the new Reiki book, really destabilized, really exposing the destabilized energies that are attached to the what you guys know as Reiki and who put those symbols out and how to remove your energy from that system. Really bringing down the hyperdimensional like culture and solid awareness of that. My new the new chemistry.com, that website where you guys can get energy tools for your house, for your technology, for your internet needs, and for accessing neural networks too. And some people are like, what's a neural network? Because you're going to see a lot of karmics lying about this. Like, I'm creating a neural network. Instagram is what a neural network could be, right? YouTube, your feed is what a neural network is, what they're trying to say is a neural network in the 3D reality. You can only activate a neural network if you are somebody who has a neural network, who has systems to maintain neural networks, and who actually is an individual who has an Akashic record for helping other people create neural networks. So you guys saw what I did with mine. You upload, you just type in the things that you want to see every month, and it'll send you a download system. So, okay, I was looking for like, how do I get this for cheap? Okay, this store right around the corner, here's the address. That's how I get it. That's a neural network, and we're able to invoke those. And I put the science behind that on there because I know how to utilize hyperdimensional chemistry as well as hyperdimensional math. So you're gonna hear a lot of karmics clout chasing with that. But if it's not like that and they don't know how to activate the math or the geometry, that's it. And a lot of people can't. And this is where a lot of this whole nonsense that you hear about AI, augmented reality, things like that. Uh, uh, Things that they use like machine learning, those type of things, predictive tools and programming, they're basically trying to invoke divination in technology, and it's not possible. So if you don't have a divination akasha, a divination channel, don't know how to create them, maintain the substance for that, you can't use any of that technology. It doesn't work. So we know how to invoke that because in our digital and cyber reality, right, we know how to work with the specific elements because we have the codes, we have tools, we have systems and knowledge banks that we don't get from aliens, that we don't get from tainted systems or false or rituals or false initiations, that we get straight from the highest source, right? And we know how to prove that it works. We know how to cover our tracks with our work. We know how to maintain our work because there's also a Akasha for using those systems and creating those systems. So you're going to hear me talk a lot more about this as we move forward. So, and I think that this is good for you guys to know so that you can have like a different reality that you can tap into because there's so much like bullshit and drama. So you need to tap into something that's actually fulfilling and enriching, etc. I want this old recipe that my grandma used to make. I need the exact recipe. Boom, neural network, it'll send it to you. Because you're going to start to see a lot of karmics clout chase. It's like I told you, they put me in my twin in virtual reality so they can spy on us and gang stalk us and then go clout chase like at conferences. And it's backfiring and killing people and getting people destroyed and getting people exposed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Let's look into that. So here we go. Let's look into this. Now, what messages do we have, please, for today's Stay in Your Lane? I'm going to be using the African American tarot, and then I also have the Yoruba tarot. This is like the Orishas tarot. Now, one thing about this is like some people are like, you don't practice with the Orishas, but you have this deck, and it's because I know how to read the archetypes. And the Orisha system that we're looking at is like 18 like levels removed from the original system that it is. So by using these decks, I'm just reclaiming the part that my higher selves and my ancestry line and my ancestor that reincarnated in me, as well as all that, right? Those individuals, those categories, those archetypes, I'm basically pulling our energy out of these systems and like setting the tone for what these systems are by showing you guys how to use them in a different way. So that's why I use some of these here, Lenormand as well, because we have ancestors that live in time periods where they have mansions like this. Literally, that looks like Margarisa's house, where they have basically people who dress like this still, and they know about phones and computers and stuff like that, and they have them in those areas, right? Where people live like this, right? Like they dress like that and stuff like that, but then they are the same dude that's like snitching in your community, getting your hood set up with the feds, like that type of thing, right? Like this, they look like this, but they still play with the computer. They have OnlyFans accounts and stuff like that. So the realities are very different. And pulling you into all this type of stuff, teaching you guys about this stuff, showing different divination tools and how to use them is what's going to get us to the next level. So that's what I have to say about that. Now let's keep on going. Um, so let's go ahead and get into the same lane. I'm gonna use the Risha's Tarot and a few other clarifying decks. Okay. I feel like it's because sometimes switch up the energy. You got the Justice card and the Moon as I crack open the deck. A lot going on here. And why I love reading tarot is because I love getting to the nitty-gritty and the math of it. Because tarot is such an organized system, right? So Virgo in here, just like I love to how everything just always lines forward, and then getting to pull on knowledge of planets and systems and planetary alignments and planets and chemistry. And you guys know I'm doing a lot of that work. How does chemistry manifest itself in astrology? We're bringing down a new astrology system. I'm going to show you guys some things that I've been working on here. Where are these? Are you stupid? Starting shit like this. Anyway, I have my whole card system right here. So, anyways, right? So, like I said, new systems, I've just been downloading new archetypes for the Mayan astrology. So this is one of them, and this is another one too. There's going to be a whole lot more. I have all of the new ones here. There's a new archetype system for astrology on this planet. The old astrology is done, it's out. There's going to be a new astrology, and it's going to be through the chemical systems that we're able to put down here that people can work with. And this is going to be the new astrology for this planet as we move forward. And then there will be new cycles that come down as karmic layers are transitioned and moved off the planet and completely cycled off into a place where they are dealt with completely. And then we come forth with our new systems here that you can actually see and are tangible and actually make sense, right? Not just like bramble and jargon online and misinformation and shit like that. Like, what are the actual tools that you're deploying? How are you in the field? And that's that new chemistry where you guys can actually get like different tools for your water supply, where you can put something on your water supply. It changes all the water in the house, right? Something that you can get put onto your internet where you are completely protected from hacks and stuff like that. And you have a whole different Wi-Fi system, right? Things where you can put on your phone where you can call any country and things like that with just an equation attached to your phone number. That's the thing that we can invoke with these systems that we are bringing with these systems. Now, this astrology set though is a karmic astrology set for judgment. There's a lot in here. I brought down all of them. These are just like the rough sketches of what is going to have to be inside the book. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit. I do practice my art regularly. Some of the things that are going to be here. This one's saying right here, the demon that, the one that will never divinate, right? Those are some of the archetypes that are coming down. Never see nature again. This one is death of Kupahaki, destruction of the false one. Those are some of the archetypes that are coming down, right? On top of all these other systems. So we're clearing up the karma and drama and chaos and then bringing down new systems at the same time and clearing up the ones that came from our higher selves, our ancestors, our federation, etc., that need to be removed from these false systems. So now let's continue. All right. See, messages you have, please. Stay in your lane. 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 Hey. Messages. What messages do you have for the stay in your lane message, please? For today, what's going to happen? What's going to move forward? I feel like let's also like stratify what level we want to look into. I feel like this is going to be on all levels, but a systematic thing too. You guys need to also look into what's the system that you're currently living in right now. Put things into context, the time period that you're living in now, while this information is coming down and these new changes are coming down, while karma is coming down, while ancestral clearing or karma is coming down. Where do you find yourself? Right, shit happening at people's jobs. You see mass shootings, killings, everything, everyday drama. Anger, rage, that's all chemically programmed. We talked about that. Where do you find yourself in that spectrum? I feel like that's something too in the stay in your lane. You staying in your lane because there's about to be a real bifurcation here where there's going to be people who are straight like karma, real negative energies, dealing with like the demons that they conjured, a whole bunch of stuff, and people having everything, complete happiness, joy, no stagnation, no like catastrophe, no foolishness, no madness, no meandering, no wandering, no none of that. Just period. And that's the two realities here. And then there's the Ace of Swords right there and the Magician, right? And then I do see something like a hand right here coming down. I feel like there's also something that is coming out in regards to like, there's an awareness of like how delusional a force is, or there's an awareness of how something has been trying to create some type of like manipulative energy, or you're coming to the conclusion of the energy, the power that you have in a situation to activate this Ace of Swords, okay? That's what I'm seeing here. Also, too, this is like somebody who is a false like prophet and a false energy being controlled and manipulated by something. Somebody's working with a sinister force here, and it's going to come out what that force is, how it was invoked, what it's running them to do, and the all of that. So it's going to start to come out basically who's the source of individuals like bread and butter, who was promoting what, who's been tampering with others. Ace of Swords, I'm seeing that here, but more or less with the tempering of others, I see the Five of Cups and the World card. So a cycle coming to a complete end because there's individuals who've been acting out in that low vibrational magician energy to get some type of karma here. It's like somebody should have stayed in their lane with how far they thought that they were going to go with a certain situation or what power they had in the situation. Somebody had no power in the situation. They thought that they were running things the whole time, but I feel like God was here with the World card here. Right. And this also too is like a representation of the highest high priestess coming down to show individual who they are. It's like somebody's coming to the realization, just as this magician energy is going to go full force in some negativity, this Ace of Swords comes down to cut the cord or cut its connection to anything that it could have given it any power or energy or like sustenance to keep causing drama and bullshit that only ends in the Five of Cups, right? So now they're spilling, crying over spilt milk, and this high priestess with the world is initiating this Five of Cups because she can carry all this water and like drown them in it, and nothing will happen. But I feel like with this thing in your lane too, it's a realization of how the tampering of other people's energy is a way sometimes what initiates forces that bring Five of Cups. It's like somebody's coming to the realization, like, had I not been over there or started any of that, I wouldn't be going through this, period. I see that with the Stay in Your Lane, major realizations. It's like somebody's mind has opened up into the awareness of what they've been doing. You got the Seven of Pentacles right here, right? And then you got the King of Cups energy here, like somebody who's like a man, and the King of Swords. The King of Cups to the King of Swords, that's interesting energy. There could be two men involved in a situation with this negative magician energy where they're being ran by the same exact force, just in different bodies. But now they're fighting over who's going to be the more negative expression of that energy. And this is also too a force trying to bring in something that's going to turn this King of Cups to the King of Swords, or turn this King of Swords into a King of Cups. But it's strange because they share a specific intelligence, right? So it's like, I'm going to be in this water energy first. I see several scenarios with this King of Cups, King of Swords. Now, let's look. In regards to like emotions, this is an individual that's emotionally unstable, going from the King of Cups, King of Swords, somebody who has split personalities. If it's a scenario, it's somebody coming to the realization of some type of lack of emotional maturity and invoking the King of Swords, where very like straightforwardness and mental like correctness, or somebody that's going to invoke some type of manipulation and then turn into a sociopath and narc at the end, like some type of like gaslighting or some type of energy here. That's what I'm seeing with these two cards coming out together. There could also be two energies working together in a specific space. There could also be something meaning like a transition in like business, transition from like maybe working in a field that has something to do with like mental health, being a counselor, designing, relationship stuff, things like that, to like becoming an analyst, writing, more of the masculine logical skills from the feminine energy skills here. But then also too, this is also with this magician energy, somebody got into some type of negativity here. So it's split up their ability to act out in a proper, like, what's this thing called? In a proper intelligence. And this is where you're going to come into this realization, like, it's the what I was talking about earlier, coming to a realization that there's an element that's been destabilized here because of some of these activities playing with this magician, right? So this individual thought that they were the master magician, but there was some energy here that was playing with some type of chemistry, or playing with some type of reactions, or playing with some certain functions that then created this split, this King of Cups, King of Swords. There's a lot going on in this Stay in Your Lane. But I feel like the details matter in terms of how this has happened, or in terms of who these people are. Then there's a Queen of Wands, or this could be two men. Because with this Queen of Wands, this is messy shit. And then the Five of Pentacles, wow. For what? I feel like there's something like with this Five of Cups too, and this King of Cups, King of Swords, I see like constant regret. This magician is messy that I'm just like keep picking up on. Somebody's gonna get really exposed in terms of some like real Five of Pentacles, like bottom of the barrel, like energy. Like the worst like sewer you can think of is somebody acted that energy out. And it's prevalent here with this King of Cups, King of Swords, and somebody's going to get exposed. Or it could be a female doing that too with that Queen of Wands. It's saying that there's a feminine force that's also here too. There's a feminine force that's there too. Somebody here is going to get like Seven of Swords and the Queen of Swords. There's a woman here that's mentally ill, that's starting shit. This can be somebody at your job getting fired. I see like a lot of pushback against mental illness in regards to behavior being like very maladaptive, very conniving, very unnecessary, derogatory in some ways, even sometimes disgusting, delusional, irresponsible, negligent, sinister. There's all of that going on with this Queen of Swords and the Seven of Swords. Somebody's very delusional in regards to the power they have in a situation, or the impact that they've only reversed back onto themselves. Something has blown up in somebody's face here, right? Yeah, this is a joke, right? Thank you. So this is what I'm saying. Right. This Knight of Pentacles shows that somebody here is delusional in regards to their status. I see somebody putting their energy into the wrong things. But also, too, there could be something about like an apprentice at work, some type of training program or some type of apprenticeship. This can also be working with like young people who are trying to make money. I see that there's like some type of Queen of Swords or King of, there's this energy working on like youth or young individuals or young energies, bringing delusional shit. And I see there's like these two beings in the same card. And I feel like there's like something where somebody is disrespecting like a source that the Most High like is propagating here for like long-term sustenance and success. I see somebody like thinking like it's okay to like pick or prod or like tamper with something or somebody, but it ends up impacting the success and long-term trajectory and future of several people here. This can be in a neighborhood, housing complex or something like that too. It's like somebody like, right. That's what I'm seeing here. Eight of Cups. Some of you guys may be thinking about moving. But I also see like with this, and this is like the disillusionment that I'm talking about with the tampering with this energy here. This can also be like somebody like, I'm seeing like somebody like has no boundary with their children. There's like a woman here that has no boundary with her children, and her like sons are like her men, her husband, and she produced this King of Cups, King of Swords duality, which is basically like extensions of her mind in a deformed state. Also an illegal state. There's also something here about like illegal reproduction too that I'm seeing with this Five of Pentacles. Somebody wanted to go and like dip and dabble and have children with the Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups, this Queen of Swords, right? And now it's like reaping the karma of being in that energy, that illegal reproduction, starting shit, having children to play games and all of that. I just see like a lot of like generational karma here, energy. Yeah, Hierophant. And Hierophant. And then you got the Strength card right here too. Right, and Six of Wands. There could also be something about this getting publicized, like something's going to be coming out. There could be something about what's that thing called? Family gatherings and outings. And this also too is I see like poverty investigations, people going broke off of like legal stuff with the Five of Pentacles and the Hierophant. People getting exposed for their lack of having a Hierophant archetype. It's people trying to act as the Hierophant or the High Priestess and getting exposed as the Five of Pentacles. That's very messy. That's very delusional and messy. That's like all if it out like oh, let's say for instance like you're doing some type of like work and then people find your OnlyFans account. It's like stuff something like that makeup coming out. It's like that type of like energy is being expressed in a situation like somebody getting really exposed for like what they're really doing behind the scenes. Could be this King of Cups, King of Swords. I feel like this archetype, this a lot of King of Swords energy, narcissistic, delusional, low vibration are going to be in this King of Cups and the Five of Cups energy and Five of Pentacles. No clout. No money, no hoes to chase after them and shit like that, and depression and chaos. And then this Knight of Pentacles saying it's going to be there for a long time. They have to work off something in their akasha. Mm. And I'm seeing this legendary being on here. These beings only come out when there's real warfare. So I see somebody brought real warfare to themselves too. And it could be for playing with this high priestess that's initiating a lot of this. And then I see too this like hermitess type energy coming out to deal with this magician, like something coming from the depths to come deal with this magician, and they think that it's a joke. But with this Five of Pentacles, they know what's coming though, because look at in the Five of Pentacles, look at their nest is on the ground, no protection, no nothing, and this Hierophant is over this nest, like okay, so you're on the ground though, like, and I'm here to bring karma. Where are you going now? Because it's like somebody misuse and abuse some type of ability. These birds could fly. So why is there thing in the ground? So it's like maybe it's heavy. Something's heavy and like so somebody fell off. Now they're on the ground. And this hermit energy is about to come and really deal with this magician energy too. Somebody's about to get realigned here. It's going to be sick. This Queen of Swords and the Seven of Swords is like very toxic. I feel like there's like somebody at the job that's like very exudes a very toxic and delusional energy. And I feel like you should really like put forces in your energy field. This can also be you becoming this Queen of Swords, like really like stiffening up that like air and water intelligence. This can also be an astrology reading, stiffening up, like really, really, really honing in, like grounding out that like air and water like energy in order to come forth and like be able to deal with this Queen of Swords or invoke your own type of healthy Queen of Swords archetype here. There can also be some of that going on too, because I see like a nonsense with some karmic at work that needs her ass whooped, or that could be that happening too, and that's why this Hierophant is here. Five of Pentacles. You got the coffin card into a situation that I see something happening here. I see you needing to be careful with finances. What's the Magician, Ace of Swords? Yeah, you got the distant horizons. Now, one of the things, and the despair card here. I think it's just despair in the community card. Right? Something coming out in front of a whole bunch of people here. So, something's done here. This King of Cups, King of Swords is going to get exposed, really, as a Hierophant in reverse. But now, one of the things too is like when you have like, and this is like, if this person has access to systems and classification, da da da, and they're in this, they're a very sinister person, and that's the energy that is coming up at the surface. Like, if you're like this with me or behind the scenes, or this has come out, I wonder what else you've done. I feel like that's the biggest thing here with this Ace of Swords, because Ace of Swords is hard to apply with force. Now, one of the things that I'm seeing here too with this hand of the Magician's head and this sword is like there's a very sinister type of magic ritual that they do, and they take somebody's head and put a sword through it and say that they're blocked in terms of seeing on all levels. And I feel like somebody tried to invoke some type of ratchetry to that level. Like, I want to invoke this on all levels, and it backfired. Like, who the fuck are you though? And somebody's dealing with karma and chaos here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And with the Queen of Swords too and the Seven of Swords, I see something backfiring, because this could be the sword that got put in the karmic's head. Or she already had the sword in her head. Or I see somebody literally like, I see you looking at an individual like, I've seen different creatures that have horns or snarls or tails here or something like that, right? Because even some hyperdimensional people have tails. Or I've seen them with different like tendrils or apparatuses or whiskers or some shit like that. I've seen several beings, and I see you having that type of configuration on your head. I see you having something like keeps you stuck in delusional, like how she has this on her head, meaning that I'm covered, right? Type of thing. Somebody has gone through, somebody has walked through some type of shadow or portal or created something where now it has created some type of like mental stuckness permanently. And this Queen of Swords bring this energy different places, and it's going to stop. It's like there's an end to it here with the sword in the ground, right? It's like a finality to it. And this Queen of Swords has to eat all this. And this is also you like coming into your element, like, nah, that's not what's gonna happen. Somebody here also too, it's like one thing that I'm seeing is somebody trying to perpetuate like a power dynamic in a situation with the Queen of Swords, Seven of Swords, and it like, now I'm the Hierophant though. So who did you think you were gonna invoke this on? Somebody here is delusional. I'm also seeing something being done with stealth and very quickly that dismantles a lot of things all at once. I see the foundation being dismantled here, because it says here, with the use of this apparatus, I'm going to create dismantling in the eyes and the ability to see clearly, hear clearly, divinate clearly, think clearly, connect clearly, manifest clearly, and maintain clearly. That's what this is saying. And somebody has that on all levels, and they're bringing bullshit all around, and that's about to end. Mm-hmm. There's also a drug creating rust on somebody's intelligence. Because like if you're like steel, then what is coming around with this Five of Cups energy too? I'm thinking this Five of Pentacles too. Some type of element being like completely like debilitated. There's also somebody who has a debilitated mind, or a bunch of people with debilitated mind. They're gonna get the Seven of Swords straight in the head. Mm-hmm. What's the Ace of Swords, Five of Cups? Ace of Swords, Five of Cups. Yeah, higher honor in reverse, not a hierophant here, than the official person. There's a realization of that too. Now, another thing that I'm also picking up here too is like there's something where with this Knight of Pentacles in the World card, there's an end to some type of like energy and stagnation that was stopping you from coming to the high honor and the official person, or somebody was trying to orchestrate that. It's like somebody knew something ahead of time and tried to orchestrate that, and it backfired onto them. I see a lot of that, like people seeing that whole every man for himself, dog eat dog does not really exist. It always turns into karma, and like somebody coming to the realization that it's not what they think that's true, it's what is. So it's like somebody was trying to like label you or categorize you or classify you, but they were very incomplete in their assessment, and they created actions off that assessment, and now there's drama and despair here. And this is magician that's actually was blinded the whole time, because you see a hand coming out here and this person's trying to divinate. Why would a hand need to come out? Where's the light that just connects and shines through up to the divination channel? And then they're reading with the thing in the 3D, putting their energy into it. And I'm also picking up somebody that is very like delusional and skewing things and creating confusion for a lot of people. And they have to pay for that. There's an akasha around that. And people not thinking about that. I see somebody not thinking about with the occupation card here too. It's like when somebody wants a certain job, but they can't perform the functions with the Knight of Pentacles. And there's an end to that. And I also see somebody like realizing I can't fulfill this job at all. And there being some type of like major karma behind that. I see something like burning people. So people wanted to cloud chase with something or run after something, or like how everyone jumps on trends and fads, and I see it backfiring and destroying a lot of people with the stay in your lane. And I see you sitting there as a privileged woman being able to watch that with the toil and labor. You're going to watch that toil and labor happen. There's going to be a lot of people that end up doing something or getting involved in something. This could be at your job, like rallying up with something, clicking up, getting into a dynamic or something like that here, or playing with a certain tool or substance, or getting into something with questions of ethics, and that has concerns. Right? And I see that backfiring, and you being the privileged lady here watching people get into that toil and labor, period. And that just being it. Right? And I also see that this person, I see that also too, like there's going to have to be cleanup. There's something here that you're going to end up having to be the person to clean up with the Ace of Swords and the official person, or that somebody thinks that you're going to do that. You have a decision to make though. I see that there's like some type of chaos is going to end up probably happening too with this King of Cups or King of Swords energy, or this Queen of Swords fuckery here, or you invoking this Queen of Swords and having to put the foot down and do something, or letting something be destroyed because I'm going to let you destroy yourself with it, right? So I feel like there's going to be something that's very ironic in a situation, and that's just how it was supposed to be. And somebody's going to start to see God orchestrate situations like that. That's what I say, like, oh, that was very synchronistic, that was very coincidental, that was very ironic. Those are all ways that God, like, oh, I'm right here. Right? And I see that this is going to put somebody in a position to really assess this Five of Pentacles in the Hierophant. And this higher in a reverse with that Ace of Swords, because I see a lot of like energy where it's just like mental health is getting discovered. People are thinking about dual diagnoses, taking their supplements or their medications and things like that, and really getting stable and grounded. I see a lot of that, like wanting to come in with the World card, like it's done. So let me get into a space where I'm going to like ground myself. And with that grounding comes a dissipation of very toxic negative energy that was driving this dynamic, or driving this hand that's coming out of the magician's head, and this false whatever that they're creating with this divination play, because that just looks like drama. And I see a lot of this machismo and having to like, you good, man? Like that, all that type of shit. And like these men, like with that ratchet shit, something like just, it's over. Like a new archetype is here with that. That's what I'm seeing with the King of Cups, King of Swords too. A new archetype coming down with the stay in your lane. Some of these men are going to start wanting to be like this and that. And like, oh, I've changed. I'm like this, I'm like that now after doing too much. Because they see that it's not actually attractive to be delusional or messy. What's the King of Cups and King of Swords? There's going to be a change here. Yeah, you got false person and pathway. I told you. Enter that archetype, even if it means death. Ask to leave. It's done. It's over. Yeah. What's the Five of Pentacles in the Hierophant? God, you got the imprisonment. Boom. Right. House. Okay. What's the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Swords? You got message of concern. Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. You're going to have to like suit up and boot up, or there's going to be messages going out, or somebody's going to be very cutthroat with somebody here. I feel like somebody's going to get into a situation where there's a very cutthroat type of energy or directness, and it invokes them to be in this magician energy, but it's going to backfire on them too. I also see somebody wanting to retaliate because they got caught up. I see that you don't know that. There's somebody in a situation that has done some goofy shit, and now what they want to do is retaliate because they got caught up. There's a lot of like timelines going here. I also see somebody playing with timelines here, or trying to keep stuck in the timeline, or trying to keep people stuck in one timeline, and it backfired, right? Right until the wheels fall off type of shit. All the mechanics here are going to like stop and break. And also too with how she's like with that sewing machine, all them and here with this locomotive or this contraption, right? Break and just be done. Yeah. And also too, it's like people have to experience that. They have to experience like maybe sometimes people think that they have something that they can like drive to keep something going, and they're gonna have to experience maybe that tool getting broken or removed, and then them having to like need God. I see somebody having to need a higher force in a situation and they can't access it because they thought this magician, and this hand was a higher was the force. And this is going to wake up. It's some people think that being mentally ill or delusional or acting out in certain ways is a superpower, but it's not. And then on the other hand of that, I also do see like some people, like men that are watching this channel, thinking about the societies that they've joined, the men that they've affiliated themselves with, and how easy it is to just remove themselves. It's a new time. I don't have to even tell you why. I just have a different energy. I see something like that come around where everyone's on the same page of like, I don't have to like mention it to you. You already know. So something's gonna happen that's gonna clearly cut the wheat from the chaff, or just cut through something very easily. It's like, when you get like cloth or paper and you write like a line through it and you take the scissors and it just goes zoom right through. It's like something like that happens, like a very quick happening energy or realization or event or subduing of a toxic energy or amplification of a nice positive energy that's going to completely set the tone for something, and it's okay. I feel like there's like a major release that ends up happening. And with this sword, this can be you feeling you have this swords in your head, like that being taken up and removed and just moved somewhere else. Clarify despair and community. Clarify despair and community. What's this magician? You got gambles. Yeah. Somebody doing too much. Time for a change. Yeah, it's over. It's over. What's this Ace of Swords? What's this Ace of Swords? It's done for the false magician. What's the Ace of Swords? And it says, I see you, right? This one says awakening, right? Something coming out that's very harsh, but very true. Or some type of realization or some type of truth and some type of balance being struck here. I feel like also too, like people ready to get ready for suffering with this Queen of Swords, Seven of Swords. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of preparation of that. I see it then invoking a specific type of reaction, right? Invoking some type of chemical reaction or set of like behaviors or ways of thinking that continue to bring in the force necessary to make somebody see something for what it is. It's like somebody has a chemical imbalance that's stopping them from getting to seeing something with this Ace of Swords. And this Five of Cups could be drinking. This Five of Cups could be like delusions. This Five of Cups could be like old relationships. This Five of Cups could be bad behaviors, stuck emotional patterns. And we're in that Scorpio season, or we're coming out of it right now, where people are going through a lot of that. So I see that there needs to be a constant chugging of a wheel too for some of you guys in the death and rebirth process. And I see somebody trying to stop you from growing emotionally by keeping you in a specific situation that's going to just end up backfiring on you, keeping you stuck in the long run. This is strawberry and banana smoothie with grass jelly. Now, what I do with my grass jelly is I drain it, I cut it up, and brown sugar and sesame it. Some brown sugar and sesame. Then I just keep it in the fridge, and then I put it in my shakes or my halo halo or other things that I make. Or it's a Tian Van Mao. It's like a Vietnamese like drink dessert. Now, strawberries and bananas just both frozen in a little bit of almond milk, soy milk, whatever you like. And it's just really good. And you go to the store and pay like $6 for this, and it has pus in it and all kinds of stuff and chemicals, where you can just do it at home, and it's really good in the blender. Now, and it says, I see you, right? I know you see it. I know you see it. Any, many, miny, mo. How many wanna roll? I know you see it. I know you see it. Imagine, I can only just imagine myself, right? Watching all this with this ratchetry and stuff like that, and this music, and my little self like not even knowing that there's spells in all this. But anyways, with the I know you see it, right? And the I see you, it's this to somebody like feeling some type of way. You must feel some type of way because there's a realization of this high on artificial person in this Five of Pentacles in this hierophant energy. People are not really seeing it. I feel like it's like really like, ooh, somebody really does not see like how it's like Emperor got no clothes on. Seeing. What's the occupation with the toil and labor? You got the goddess council, karma, and I see this high priestess right here and planning. Okay, so with this goddess council and the planning, I see this high priestess like coming out this water or going into that water to invoke something too, to bring something forth. And I, with this hierophant, I feel like somebody better be careful because what I'm seeing with this hierophant here, and then also the sword, you're playing with different like elements that are like really like destructive, right? You're playing with elements that are like very destructive here. And it's like what I'm seeing is an individual that is playing with these swords, okay? And every sword that they put out came back as one of these like tied to their head. Right, so imagine like a jellyfish fish with feelers. That jellyfish has all these tied to them. Like how uncomfortable fucking is that? And people do that as a type of like magic and warfare. When you have like water placements or you have a moon akasha or moon placement. Not a lot of people know about those worlds. Or in the cyberspace, they formulate these because you do have like digital and cyber type of like beings that are attached to your consciousness that represent different parts of your brain and stuff like that. But they exist in a place where only the hyperdimensional language and speech, etc., can access that plane, and not a lot of people can go there. They can act like they have by, like I said, virtual reality stalking line, right? But they haven't been there, and they don't even have a jellyfish to even like think about because that's being of God. But you do like rituals and shit like that and play with people and you think that you have one. No, so maybe they just, nah, she's fucking with me, nah. So because they are of God and they have to be like balanced. So no, just because I'm a jellyfish doesn't mean I'm gonna fuck with you, I'm leaving. And that can be also be something too, somebody losing gifts. And that's what I wanted to talk about, a season of dead flowers. A lot of people like having those flowers, you know, cultivating them, things like that, and then doing the wrong thing and those flowers start dying in front of them, then wanting to pluck other people's flowers and tamper with other people's flowers. It's not happening, right? So also there's an awareness of that too, but by playing with this false magician, following false things and not following God, that got them to those flowers dying. But they want to play with your flowers, and I feel like this high priestess is here to say like, nah. And that's where this Queen of Swords is going to get her tea too. I'm saying, right? And that's why I see this Queen of Swords getting her tea too. So now with this goddess council, and I see somebody realizing that they're not a goddess, that they're not a high priestess, that not of seeing, not seeing. So I see with that saying that there's also a realization of what did I do when I was not seeing? Whoa, that's very deep too. That's another type of dead flower wherein you rot your mind because you want to be in a specific type of like mode and function, but it is adverse to growth, right? So somebody realizing that they were in that too. This thing lane is deep. Well, that's what folks wanted. I feel like it's God here, karma, as I crack open the deck, karma, right? I feel like it's God here, like orchestrating something most high, or a lot of people behind the scenes, or it was already initiated, or it was already supposed to happen. And God is like, I'm going to teach you several ways. So now somebody is seeing that what they've been involved in. Now let's what's this false person and this what's this king of swords? You got stealing, right? Somebody that's messy with the shit. What's the false person? You got warrant, right? And you got right. What's the king of cups? You got killer, right? Now, also too, this what I was seeing too was like this knows information or something like that. This what I was talking about earlier was somebody being that like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. High Top energy, and that archetype being done with. I see motherfuckers going beyond to even invoke archetypes that are even worse than that. Like even in the Jekyll, there's several, and even the Hyde, there's several, and they create different like physical manifestations. So it's like somebody coming into a new level of fuckery with their craft. I can create physical manifestations of what's delusional and disgusting internally within, and this is how I'm going to do this and this and this and this and that, and trying to bring this into a space where it gets shut down so badly that it just brings us Five of Pentacles in the Hierophant. Right, and this is what I'm saying here. What I'm seeing with all these different like symbolisms, spiritual symbolism. Be careful because something's going to get invoked with this hierophant in this staff, and something you may not be able to contain with this message of concern. So I see things coming out from different intelligences that work in fire, right? And that's the vitality, that's the emotional regulation, right? That's the spirit. I see things working in earth. That's work. That's money, right? That's your health too. I see things working in air. That's your mental health. That's your ability to communicate. That's communication devices. That's your access to technology. I see energies and entities of all those different archetypes or intelligences coming down to deal with somebody. So I feel like you need to be careful what you're invoking at this point in time. I feel like there's portals open above your head, around your head, inside your head potentially, and that are bringing in other energies that you're not really seeing that go beyond just this physical plane. But there's a perfect pathway for you to see, but you rather be in a space of not knowing, and that's what this world card here is done. So you can like, why not know when you have somewhere to go? Like well, let me go to the place where I then know. That's what I'm seeing right here. Somebody's coming to that realization. There's that, and somebody was trying to stop you with that, with a sword in the head type of fuckery. But bitches do this. They pay money. They go kidnap a little kid in Haiti or Dominican Republic and put a sword in the child's head and tie it to somebody's energy. So there can be something going on here, and that could be this hierophant message of concern. Somebody getting exposed for this, or somebody coming to the realization you're always going to pay for what you do. I see somebody very delusional in regards to like their who they are and like their status spiritually. I feel like something deluded somebody, some false initiation, this false magician, or this false magician being run by another false magician. The line goes deep. But I feel like somebody coming to the realization that they got duped like big time, bad. And I feel like there's somebody that's gonna see like hell in hot water. Hmm. What's the Five of Pentacles imprisonment? You got spiritual realm, karma, right? Karma, right? Spiritual jail too, and it's happening now. And I also see something coming up about jail. This could be somebody working in a jail, seeing a bunch happening. This can also be too something happening with finances around a jail. This can also be too something about the closing of certain jails and opening of new ones. I see a lot of conversions and collapsing. I feel like what's going to happen in the near future that they're going to collapse all like jails all over the place, and then just have like a few main centers all over the country because a lot of them have empty beds anyways, and it's done. A revamping to the justice system is happening here, and that is done. Mm. I see pussy being the reason why something's getting dismantled. Some institution or some organization or some system is getting dismantled because of pussy and playing games. Right. What's the Ace of Swords and this what's the Seven of Swords and this Queen of Swords? You got foresight, right? Knows information, done, right? Right. I see two females I see a man and I see two females sleeping with this man, and I see these two females are gay behind the scenes playing games with this man with the LGBTQ. Right. And I feel like he deserves it. And there's going to be some drama and chaos right behind this. And it's going to be like real deep, like fuckery and Uruguay. Right. And I see also too with the Five of Pentacles, and also too somebody losing a bunch of money off pussy, like, oh, I'm the man, and and just running reckless and being delusional. And why do I have hella kids? I thought it was like 10K a year. Like I can handle that. And what do you mean? Right. Like some shit like that. Five of Pentacles, spiritual realm. I see too some karmics have set up these masculines with this illegal reproduction. I'm gonna have a baby by him and completely disenfranchise themselves and him. So oh, he has money, but you're disenfranchised spiritually. Oh, he like something like that. Like, oh, I didn't know that it was gonna really go that far. And now starting to see like this pussy that I played with is actually like something that can destroy me. And I see somebody then taking more care of themselves and stop attacking and harassing other people who they exude the frequency of I take care of this thing. Right? I see a lot of that happening with this goddess council energy and this queen of swords coming to the realization of like there's harsh realizations here and there's nothing that I can do to stop this realization, so let me go elsewhere. I see a lot of that. I see somebody coming to the realization that this nonsense that they are getting into against you because of this Seven of Swords or this pussy play game or this disillusionment that they experience with this magician or this King of Swords, King of Cups, this nonsense is really just going to continue to rot them and you're not going to be affected. I see someone come to the realization that you're not affected or you're not bothered by something. And I've come to the realization that somebody coming to the realization, I see someone coming to the realization that that this thing could be a problem that they have to deal with. Because I feel like somebody is doing some stupid shit to bother or attack or harass somebody and it's making them sick. And that's God. Yeah. Then it says bad health. Boom. And it says the Most High. Well, I can't lie, right? So let's look into this. And then that Knight of Pentacles too. I see something with like somebody trying to slow down somebody's like body rhythms and cycles, graveyard spells and rituals and binding, lengua, tongue. I see like disgusting nonsense with bitches playing with period blood and hotel rooms. I see karmics like buying, renting a hotel room so they can all go play with brujeria and do coke and like fuck each other or do some nonsense and shit like that, and it getting exposed or being recorded. I see like stuff like that happening, like in regards to like how depraved people are. I see somebody holding on to the one thing that they thought would always work but does not no longer, and it's destroying them and everything around them. What's the Five of Pentacles? Because when you get into the Five of Pentacles energy, it's like lack. So spiritual lack means nothing coming to me and stuff like that, or somebody trying to evoke that around you by playing with something like very out of line and sinister. But it's like I also feel like with these, there's a realization of the villain that there really is no such thing as a villain. It's only somebody that's stupid enough to go against God. So it's like you're just an outlet that they see fit to go against like war against the Most High. And I see somebody come to the realization of this vessel that is connected to other things that will then create chaos for me in the long run. So let me go to the person that I really want to war with, and that's not even possible. So it will continue. But at the same time, if you know that you're carrying that energy and that's your archetype, you already know what's going to keep on happening. So I see somebody having to go and assess that and go to the drawing board about that. There's a lot happening here. With this, yeah. Right. And I see somebody like having stuckness and slowness in their life and it not like being coming to them that it's because they're playing with magic or doing too much. What's the Five of Pentacles? What's the Five of Pentacles? You got receipts? Yeah. Somebody got receipts. Karma. And then you got sex addictions, right? There's an element of that. And this is what the illegal reproduction that's coming out here. There's a lot of realizations coming out. And in that realization, it's and in that it's also too like, okay, well, where do we move from this? Where there's a mass realignment, right? Happening right now where people are gonna have to come into this new body to survive, where they're constantly gonna be in a state where they're sick and annoyed and agitated and then acting out on that and creating more karma and more akasha and more drama and getting away from that reality that we're trying to bring down and more into the lower vibrational fuckery that we're like expelling. Because a lot of this shit doesn't even need to be on the planet. And I see a consensus coming to on this table in regards to what will and will no longer happen with the world card here. Yeah. And I see energies coming down here, and I see this is just a cycle that's coming down. And I see an alignment and a closing finally of some type of door that was being opened up to do sinister things. But it's like this, it's like what I was saying here too, where somebody thought that they had so much access or so much this or so much power or something, but didn't see that it was a trap, or didn't see that they didn't, or didn't see that you already knew, or didn't see that those archetypes don't exist in you. And I see somebody trying to make you feel a certain type of way about something, like somebody being very specific. I want them to feel jealous or something like that and delusional. I feel like people are like, if I think like that, then obviously I need to get help because that's not okay. That's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, that's okay. So there's so much to do. There's so much work to do. There's so much in this. I see a lot happening. Also too, like just I mean, what more can I say, you guys? This is it right here. I think what I'm gonna go do is on my Patreon, I do the monthly divinations. They're very deep and very different. And I do the once a month hyperdimensional class. So this month is going to be on the new spell system. But I think what I'm going to do for you guys is I may do like a whole class on like dismantling all the different spiritual systems, like where they really come from and what they're really saying and who was the real originator of these things on my Patreon, like once a month. And we'll still read Bengas and things like that and all kinds of hieroglyphs from different systems and whatnot in order to build upon what we already know because we can divinate. I feel like I want to do more historical divination too. So instead, I'm going to braid my hair and watch things on the Civil War because there's a lot that's going to come out about that, the Civil War too. And I think like this Lenormand deck was interesting because I saw some stuff about that, but there's going to be a lot coming out about like what really happened during American enslavement. Where did we come from? Why is it that some of us have DNA markers where it shows that we have once teleported? Why do we have this? Why do we have that? How did we actually get here? There's several planets that are like Earth. How did we get to this one? How do we forget who we are? Why is it that this was happening and that was happening? How? So who was here? Why did the Civil War start over to psychics from Kemet that were shutting down the United States government because somebody played in their Akasha and trapped them here? What happened during that war? Why did it go on for 4 years? Why are there a bunch of historical documents and videos that are going to come out about white aliens that were in the 1860s that are in the Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration and the Nixon administration and around JFK and currently playing games with the Bushes and shit like that? Oh, that's very interesting. So that's interesting. I would love to know why they're still here and playing with the government and doing like nonsense and shit like that when they should be dead. Why are they not dead? Clones or they're just aliens and they get bodies from space and shit like that. Oh, okay. So I understand, right? So, they want to start another civil war. We're going to see why the United States is who it is, why it is. The treaty that these two combatants have over the United States government. And we're also going to talk about of what that means. And I know a lot of people are like, are you talking about Morris rights? Absolutely not. I'm talking about the fact that they tried to basically bring technology into the era that we know as slavery. So imagine being on the plantation and they have cell phones and like different screens going in the sky saying work, work, and like showing you getting whipped, right? Because we've been had technology in space and there being a war over that and it not getting and no technology and none of that like happening on this planet because it's banned because that's our speech because of what they create with it, right? Until they get off the planet completely. And them doing sneaky ratchet shit all behind the scenes to create portal magic, which is the internet. You go on into a portal, you type in different functions, right? They get to another portal, they get you to another portal, they get you to another portal, right? And what that looks like now when that's all going to get shut down and these aliens have to go on trial and talk about how they get different bodies and start shit and been here since the Civil War and this treaty and where they got these videos from and why they have the same DNA because they have bodies like frozen like Walt Disney, right? Cryotherapy and shit like that. So there's a lot that's going to come out with that, and it sounds like very extreme. But when you really start to think about it, it had to be something. It had to be something, and the different tools that they use, like Bombardia, and why so many amputations had to happen with all kinds of stuff like that. And they were here, they were acting as doctors and stuff like that. And what really happened in that war. You know, Denzel has a movie that's the US can go watch. I think it's called Braveheart. Maybe not, but there's a movie about the Union Army and the Black coalitions in the Union Army and things that happened during the war and the misinformation about that and why you don't see the people that like you watch Avatar and those type of people were here being enslaved wearing like gowns and shit like that. There was different ones like purple, pink, red, yellow, stuff like that, like face markings and slavery and how they got off the planet and why certain federations had to get trapped here and why certain like groups of Asian, Latin, Arab, African, indigenous are suffering on the planet because of what their federation tied to in space to create warfare and create slavery that is going to then get exposed and what that looks like for you today and what that looks like for that federation that cannot grow food, cannot get their own food, cannot divinate, cannot use spirituality and things like that, but are playing with all these different systems to try and keep money, keep food and stuff like that because they started slavery. There's going to be a lot that comes out about that. So anyways, I loved doing this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Bye.